Hello, this is Dry Oasis. I'm doing a little bit of a tech, little thing over here, a little playthrough of Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy. This is Dry Oasis, and these are my co-hosts, Kirby and Snorlax. Say hello, Kirby and Snorlax. Hello. Anyways, yeah. So if you're seeing this right now, it's the Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy, and oh, so we're in my headphones? I'm not even on Discord at the moment. So yeah. This game has loads of content. I think I will start off with the first game here. So this is going to be a playthrough without my friend's Fuzzy Cow for now. So I'll just do like little 1 hour thing right now. At least a playthrough for at least now. And see how that goes. I hope you enjoy it. Oh. Right? Episode 1, Turnabout. I couldn't even say that. What's all this? A lot of paper stuff. Ah, turn off the lights. Stop going along like a pendulum. Showdown time. Ooh, one of them got slayed at the hands. You lose. Ugh. Oh, a bottle of wine. Drink eek! Oh. This time. Oh. Oh. Trial them for murder. I seem to be in a bit of trouble. Something like that. Dead. Someone hit him. Hard. Me? Please. Cop should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Could it come to that? April 20th, 9:37 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 3. Panicked. Oh, I'm sweaty. I can admit it. I'm nervous. Mom Spaghetti. Where's Mom Spaghetti? Ah, good morning. Good morning, sir. You look tense, Justice. Wound up tight. Wound up, sir? No. I'm loose. I'm fine. A screechy noise. Is that your voice? I suppose it's to be expected. Your first trial. It is homicide. I guess justice doesn't start small, eh? I'm fine! That's basically the guy's catchphrase. I got up at 5 a.m. to do my Courts of Steel voice work, and I'm fine! Ooh, so a guy who wants to be an actor, so... Ah, that explains it. I did detect a certain rasping quality to your screech. Overdid it again. Tisk, tisk, tisk. As you know, your client today is a good friend of mine. I wouldn't want to let him down, if you get my drift. Drift gun, sir! I'm all over that drift. No, are we talking about that Sonic drift? Oh, please, Apollo, we're talking about anything other than that crappy Sonic racing game. Oh, okay. As it happens, I dined with him at the night of murder. We can't let this case fall through. Yes, yes, I'm fine, sir. Fine, fine, fine. One more thing. Don't say you're fine quite so much. People might take you the wrong way. Cool? I'll be preparing our case. You might want to introduce yourself to the clients. My name is Apollo Justice. Clever. If it isn't clear already, I'm a new attorney. And today is my first trial. Not that I'm worried or anything. The defendant has been accused of Boida, of course, and so do I. I mean, there's no way he did it. Not him. No way. Oh, now I see it. Was it just always like that? I could have sworn it was. Looks different. Huh? Where's this guy? Whoa! Good old morning. Morning. It's all up to you today. First trial, nervous. Beating him, cardiac arrest. I think I'm supposed to say something? Help? So, you're fine. I'm fine. Ah, Mr. Fine, is it? I did remember you having an odd name. Well, we're off to a great start. Are you sure? You're sure? Okay, I mean with me? Mr. Gavin is a top-notch defense attorney, and you know about top-notch girls. And he's your friend, so why? You'll see. Huh? You can do it. Be confident. I'm really sorry that this happened to you, I mean. It's time, shall we? Yes, sir! Okay, I need to focus. First trial, here comes justice. April 20th, 10 o'clock a.m. District Court, courtroom number 2. Rebel, 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 rebel. The court is now in session. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is, fine. I mean ready, Your Honor. Mind going, Blake? Don't panic. Ugh, too late. Her name was Mr. Justice? This is your first trial? Yes. Yes, Your Honor. But I'm fine, really. Are you quite sure? Her voice sounds a bit strained. Mr. Gavin? Yes, Your Honor? I was under the impression that you would be heading up this case. That was my intention, yes. However, a defense attorney must always heed to his client's wishes. And my client specifically requested Mr. Justice. Well, of course he wants justice. But to entrust his case to this greenhorn, why? I do not exaggerate when I say you're the best defense attorney in town, Mr. Gavin. Okay, so Gavin's got trial experience, fine. I mean, he's fine first there, but does he have the cords of steel? Then, let's begin. The defendant may enter the courtroom. This is truly an unfortunate turn of events. What about an unfortunate series of events? Anybody remember those books? No? Okay. I forgot who that pen pal author was, but that was a great book series, if I remember. I'm sorry we had to meet again under these circumstances. Long time no see, Mr. Wright. Long time no see, Mr. Wright. Hey, what is that blue... Hey, where did that blue hedgehog come from? Get him out of here. Oh no, I've been spotted. Help! Okay. Anyways, do you know any other pointy hair suspicious people, Mr. Wright? No? Good. Are you sure? Yes? Okay. Let's put the past behind us, shall we? These days I'm merely Phoenix Wright, piano player. Mr. Wright? How could this happen? What happened? I won't speak of it further then. If the prosecution would be so kind as to explain the charges, Mr. Payne. You think? I saw you enter this room a fresh attorney, and now I'll see you leave in chains. Winston Payne. Subtle as ever, I see. Ahem. The crime occurred at the Borscht Bowl Club, a Russian restaurant. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, took the victim, a customer, and he hit him, wham, on the head, smack, killed him cold. A customer at the restaurant, you say? The defendant, you say he was the pianist for the club, it seems. Phoenix Wright, a pianist? This is the weapon that took the victim's life, a bottle of grape juice. Grape juice is apparently our defendant's drink of choice. Okay, sure. Grape juice. Grape juice. Grape juice. Okay, whatever. The court accepts the deadly bottle as evidence. Grape juice bottle. Deadly bottle added to the court record. Something to note, Justice. All evidence is filed in the court record. Make a practice of checking it frequently. The court record. Right, I've heard of that. Use R to look at the evidence so far. I'm confident in your ability to handle this. Right, just use R. Sounds like it's time for some hands-on action. I wonder. Oh. 8675309. Okay, let's see here. Nothing's here. First off, Gavin. Boss at Gavin Law Offices. First Street defense attorney. My trusted mentor. Phoenix Wright. Pianist at the Borscht Bowl Club. Formerly an ace defense attorney of some renown. Oh, this guy is Slim Shady Smith. The victim in this case. Traveler, only once recently back in the country. Yeah, this guy is 33. Man, that makes me feel a little old. Winston Payne, the prosecuting attorney, for all his experience, he lacks a certain presence. So the victim was a customer at this restaurant. But who was just this, Slim Shady Smith fellow? We believe he was a traveler, Your Honor. A traveler? According to his passport, he had been outside of the country for a number of years. He had only just returned to this country recently, though his place of residence is unclear. And he had some sort of connection with the defendant? That too is unclear at the present, Your Honor. We believe they first met at Borscht Bowl Club on the night of the crime. If they only just met, then why murder? Perhaps the victim slighted the defendant's piano playing? I mean, I wonder if Phoenix Wright even just wanted to play piano, man, but the customer thought that he really sucked at it. What do you think? Maybe he was playing Rocket Man as well? Maybe? I don't know. I really love their sons, but I don't know how good he'd play them too well. Anyways, it doesn't appear to have been the case, whatever. The case? No, the motive had nothing to do with the defendant's lack of playing skill. At least not piano playing. I'll let this photo explain what I mean. So the guy was drunk, then hit to death. As we can see, a game of poker was in the progress at the scene of the crime. Can't read his. No, he can't read his poker face. He ain't got to love nobody. Can't read his. No, he can't read his poker face. He ain't got to love nobody. Pop, 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 poker face, pop, pop, poker face. Pop, 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 poker face, pop, pop, poker face. Wait a second. Isn't poker gambling? That's a crime in and out of itself. Really? Poker is a crime? Indeed. It appears our defendant has fallen to become the basest sort of criminal. Objection! It is true that a defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim, yet it was only that. A game, in the pure sense, a competition, Your Honor. A competition? Yes. A test of wits, a silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs wreathed in blue flames, know its final outcome. Or come again. The cards on the table had blue backs, Your Honor. I believe the defense was waxing poetic in an attempt to mystify those present. An impressed woman. Honestly, we know what is how he swings, but I won't go there. That will be our first order of business here, then. To find out more about this fatal game of cards. Very well, defendant. You will testify to the court about the poker competition held on the night of the crime. My pleasure. This is it. My first trial. There goes nothing. Competition. I'm a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table, the room where we play and the competition, and there are the club's main attractions. Rules are simple. You play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. And that's all it is. A game. Our customers are happy. A pianist who can't play piano. Better than a defense attorney who can't defend. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. The first one of your time. Right, Your Honor. My first cross-examination. Don't blow it. Are you alright? You're sweating bullets. Like that one guy from Metallica. What was his name? Dave Mustaine? Sweating bullets. Bullets? Where? It's a figure of speech, Justice. Your voice sounds strained and raspy, too. My brain feels strained and raspy, sir. You've watched me perform cross-examinations many times. Though you've never done one yourself, have you? For a refresher? What to do? Should I ask Mr. Gavin for a refresher in cross-examination? No, thanks. No need for help here, sir. I think I got this one covered. I think you better do more than think. You know it, or you do not. Do or do not. There is no try. I'm fine. The courts of steel are ready for battle. The weapons press and present. Find any inconsistency, any lies in the testimony, and reveal them to the courts. That is cross-examination. Learn it, know it, do it. Loving every minute out of it. Inconsistencies, lies, Phoenix Wright? As if. Phoenix Wright would never lie, and it's up to me to prove it. The defense may begin the cross-examination. And that's... okay. Competition. Hold it! You can hardly play? Oh, I play sometimes. I play sometimes when customers demand it. I play them one song. That's usually all they want. That's supposed to be a boast just now? Title of pianist is merely a mask. A respectable face I wear for the world of large. Then why are you really at the Borscht Bull Club? His eyes. My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. Hold it! They pay you just to play poker? That would seem to be the case. I'm a professional after all. Ma! Do I detect pride in that statement? It's just hard for an honest, hard-working member of society like me to imagine. Yes, your imagination was always a bit limited, Winston. What? I played poker for 7 years in that little room, and I've never lost once. What? You see why the customers come now? Defeat the undefeated poker champion. It's quite a draw. That is, I'm quite a draw. Wait, you've never lost once? Not even one time? As I said, I'm a professional. Played poker for 7 years and never lost once? Is that even possible? The room where we play poker and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. Hold it! The room in the crime scene photo is an attraction? It has quite a history, actually. The Borscht Bowl Club used to be a gathering spot for black market types back in the day. Black market? Well, in the past. Things like that, like the black market, are only on the silver screen nowadays. Suffice to say that there were a lot of deals being made under the table. Right there in that room. A smoky room, gambling hoods. You know, just looking at this picture makes me feel bad. You know I'm bad. I'm bad. You know it. You know I'm bad. I'm bad. Come on it. You know I'm bad. I'm bad. You know it. Come on. The whole world has to answer right now just to tell you once again, I'm bad. The bosses gather around the table, cutting deals safe from the eyes of the law. Meanwhile, a goon keeps watching the small window. I can practically picture it now. That window does look like it would be good for keeping a lookout, but little else. The room has a few other tricks to it, though it was common knowledge to our regulars. At any rate, they come to play poker in a room steeped in history. Right, the dark past was all good, clean fun. Hold it! 2 decks of cards. Simple means a simple measure to prevent cheating. If you alternate between 2 decks, no one can slip in cards. There's something else I've noticed. In addition to the cards on the table, there's some scattered lying on the floor. Precisely. Cards on the table, cards upon the floor, each one forming a complete deck. Crime scene painted blue by a sad sweep of cards. Poetic, really. Incidentally, we use 2 types of cards at the club. One deck of cards was red, the other blue. As if I recall, in poker you make 5 card hands. You can see how it would be easy to cheat. Yes, the game of hands. Huh? This competition you're talking about, I believe the court understands the nature of the game sufficiently. That's right. It was a simple game after all. Are you sure? Huh? People are not murdered over simple games, Mr. Justice. Defendant, you're in the room at the very moment of that crime occurred. Yet you claim no connection to the crime? Now that's strange. What's strange? I was testifying about the competition that night. Asking me about the crime at this point is against the rules, Your Honor. Of course, I expected to hear a cry of objection from the defense. Arg, I completely let that one slip by. Don't despair yet, Justice. Sir? Right. There's something I'd like to make clear, namely your connection to the case of hand. And I'd like you to hear from you. Sure, why not? Very well. The defendant will amend his testimony. Just one little press. I've got myself a whole new testimony. In my hands, I got a whole new testimony. In my hands, I got a whole new testimony. In my hands, I got a whole new testimony in my hands. I plead silent regarding the murder. But I say I never touched the murder weapon. Objection!
Objection!
So you say you didn't touch the murder weapon? This grape juice bottle? Right? So I said. Something the matter, Mr. Justice? Here, Suave. Too bad our defense attorney never learned how to play dumb. What's this, Mr. Payne? I examined the bottle in question, you see, as it was covered with the defendant's fingerprints. Objection! No need to shout, Mr. Justice. I can hear you quite fine. Excess yelling can damage the judge's ears in our case. Well, what about my cords of steel? Anyway, what's so strange about fingerprints on a bottle in a restaurant? Well, that's true. Prints alone didn't prove you did it. Oh, they wouldn't prove a thing if they were normal fingerprints. Huh? But the fingerprints on this murder weapon were upside down. Upside down? He turned me inside out, round and round. Upside down? What does that mean? Like that one, Tina Fey song? I think Diana Ross. There we are, Diana Ross. It means that he was holding the bottle inverted. There can only be one reason for that. It's wacky. Wow. Yes. You brain someone with a bottle. You. I love that expression. Mr. Gavin, I think things took a turn for the worse. Oh? I see no problem, Justice. Huh? The only thing that matters is the truth. There's a good reason for everything, you'll see. The defendant, can you explain your fingerprints on this bottle to the courts? I stand by my plea of silence regarding the murder. For now. Not very cooperative, are you? This could hurt your case. I'm sure he's cooperative because he's hiding something. There must be some reason. Objection! Your Honor, you may seem to have forgotten something. What? Why would that be, Mr. Gavin? On the night of the crime, was it that reported the murder to the police? Reported? Oh, well, that was the defendant, Mr. Wright, but still that's... Really? Yes, well, according to the case file, the murder was reported from near the scene by a call from the defendant's cell phone. Near the scene? Let's take a look at the diagram of the murder scene, shall we? The victim was murdered in a small room in the basement 2 floors down from ground level. Of course, cell phones can't get reception so far down. The defendant used the stairs in the hallway to go above ground. The call came from the first floor of the restaurant. I see. And this is a phone that made the call? Wright's cell phone added to the court record. The defendant could have just fled the scene of the crime if he so chose. He fulfilled his duty as a citizen and reported it to the authorities. As you claim as he is being cooperative? Irk. I say, Mr. Gavin, I'd better not waste this. I think the prosecution has toyed with our client enough for the time being. Toyed? I'm sure you know more is more serious about. What was it that you said? The defendant was in the very room that very moment the crime occurred? How can you possibly know this? That's a good question. Oh, indeed. The answer is simple, Your Honor. The prosecution has a decisive witness. You're good as you say you are. If someone else was in the room the night of the crime, it must mean they witnessed the crime. Everything up till now has been a warm-up, Justice. Are you ready? Very well. Prosecution may call its first witness to the stand. The witness will state her name and profession. The witness will state her name and profession. Hold on just a moment. Where's the witness? I surmise that she has been frightened by the defense's demonic-looking horns. So I use a little hair gel. Relax, people. Have no fear. If any horns point in your direction, this court will cut them off. You are sure? I swear it on my gavel. Please come out. Isn't violence a crime, Your Honor? Well, if you are sure it is okay. Now, the prosecution... Wait a minute. Would the prosecution care for the... explain the witness's paraphernalia? Yes. She's a professional, Your Honor. Those are merely the tools of her trade. And that would be? My name is Olga Orley. I'm employed as a waitress at Borscht Bull Club restaurant. Then, why the camera? Of course, it is my pride to serve borscht that is naming a restaurant, but also perform, as it said, other service. I take it one of these other services, taking the customer's pictures? Like, for example, this one. That's the defendant? Indeed, I'm the night of the murder. Man in white hat is one who has gone kaput. Indeed, that is the victim. Order. This is quite a piece of evidence to casually drop into our laps. In the same way as I drop cold bowls of borscht on laps of customers, casually. Then the court will casually accept this new evidence. Now, witness, where were you at the time of the murder? I was in a room, the hideout as we call it. Excuse me? The hideout? It is a room where famous gangster Bad Guy was arrested. Bad Guy? It is a room where murder took place. What? Your look of utter surprise. It is lovely. I will post by courtroom door later for you. Photos will be numbered. You will write down which ones you want copy of. There were 3 people. The room of the crime. Victim Shady Smith, Mr. Wright, and Olga Orley, our witness. If Miss Wright isn't the killer, then that means... Very well, witness. You will testify to the court about that night's events. Then I'm going to go. A beautiful night. That night, customer asked me to deal cards for game. It was cold. Both players played with hats on door. The victim lays with all time with his hands on the locket on his neck. Then last hand is done. The last hand is done, but something terrible has happened, Doc. A man flew out victim and is strangling him to death. Incidentally, who won the game? Isn't it obvious? The winner was the victim, Mr. Smith. Objection! That's ridiculous. Because Mr. Wright can't lose. Justice? Maybe you can come up with a more legitimate objection, but that less than 7 years. Take it from me, kid. It happens. I didn't lose the case with my first 7 years as a prosecutor either. Incidentally, I have some evidence here. These are the poker chips. These are the poker chips as they lay at the very moment of the crime. The hands and chips on this side belong to defendant Mr. Wright. Those on the far side belong to the victim, Mr. Shady Smith. Slim Shady Smith. Chips, you say? I mean yes. Imagine that poker is war. Your hand is our army, and the chips are the spoils. I know that. After all, in my youth, I was known as the poker head of courtroom number 3. I think he means poker face. Looking at this picture, it does seem that most of the chips are on the victim's side of the table. Very well. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Hold it! You were dealing cards? Do you do this often? Ah, I'm doing this. The customer wishes it. I serve anything. Borscht, cards, war borscht. It is my work. It is good to hear of a place that hasn't forgotten the meaning of service. Welcome to Borscht Boat Club, where borscht is as warm as the waitresses. Thank you for not handing out flyers during the cross-examination. It was cold. What players played with hats on, duh? Hold it! It's already April. How could it be cold? At Borscht Boat Club, we have pride on the authentic rustic Russian restaurant theme. Outside it is city and spring, but inside it is always as cold as Mother Russia. No way am I going there. When it comes to hot borscht, cold is best seasoning, duh? His locket? I believe it was a good luck charm, duh? He connected so many times as he played that night. Yes, he must have. Felt as though it might carry him to the moon and the stars. Whereas, if it were small enough to fit around his neck, wouldn't have fit much lift. The defense would like to clarification. This is a locket we're talking about? I mean, a pendant with a picture in it, right? Not a rocket? Of course, I knew that. It was probably a pendant shaped like a rocket. That's why she called it that. Not a locket. No, a locket's a locket. It's considered bad form to poke fun at the heart of hearing in our society. Heart of hearing or heart of understanding. So what happened next? Something terrible? Eek! The defense will refrain from needless shouting. Sorry, I need to seriously reconsider this vocal training thing. Now, Miss Ulrich, can you tell us what happened? Oh, I was so frightened that I trembled with fear. The moon flew at a victim and is strangling him to death. But the defense would never do such a thing. Well, no, I can't say I've heard the defense try this tactic. If possible, please, refrain from embarrassing me. Still, why would anyone do something like this over a game of poker? Perhaps it is because the defendant has lost game? Yes, a crushing defeat for a man then defeated. So it is always with men like him. Winners make sore losers. Oh, the mighty fall. Go ahead. I believe you know what it is you need to do. Right, sir. Leave it to me. There are only 3 people in I've got you now, Ulrich. Orly. Objection! Oh, no. Objection! Oh, really? Strangled, you say? That's odd. Ah, normal customers only Shogun Borscht. No, I mean this report shows that the Victim died of a blow to the head. Ah, Miss Orrin, really now, did you really witness the crime? I... Looking at the picture, it doesn't seem like he was hit. He's still wearing his hat and everything. Yeah, it is the fact that he was hit, Your Honor. Here's a photo we took of the victim with his head off during the investigation. Well, that's quite shocking, isn't it? His head certainly was hit. But I've seen it happen. The defendant lunged at victim his neck. Oh, really, Miss O'Leary? I think I caught you in your own lie this time. Justice. I admire your enthusiasm, but perhaps you should think this through once more. What do you mean? I found a contradiction. There's one thing in your testimony that troubles me. Very well. It seems we should continue the cross-examination. Such a thing as thinking of too much. This horse is dead. Let's stop beating it. There's no such thing as thinking aloud too much, too. Objection! You know, there was one other curious part in their testimony, just like Mr. Gavin said. What does this mean? Mr. Justice, would you care to explain what it is you're so intensely talking about? Recall the testimony, Your Honor. The victim played with his and on his locket on his neck, I believe she said. I hope you aren't about to raise an objection to the witness's grammar. No, but look at this photograph. Every time I look, it makes me laugh. Something about his eyes are red, and something about... Yeah, what the hell is on Joey's head? Do you see a locket on the victim's neck? Well done, Justice. Well done, Justice. I'm impressed. I knew you'd be able to handle this, but what does this mean? We are to believe this witness's testimony as is, and the locket disappeared following the victim's death. Lockets just don't disappear, Your Honor. It's quite simple when you think about it. The locket is gone. Someone must have taken it off now. Taking it off? Wait, you don't mean... The defendant wasn't strangling the victim at all. He was taking off his locket. I mean, that explain it? Kirk? Defendant, what do you have to say about this? May say? Yes? I just noticed this, but... You have something hanging around your neck, don't you? Oh? You mean this? Yes, it's a locket, with a photograph inside. Photo of my daughter. Come again? Mr. Wright, you have a daughter? He confirmed at the time of the arrest. The picture in the locket is indeed Mr. Wright's daughter. So Mr. Wright has a locket too? Why don't I buy that? This is just a coincidence. Well now, if the results of this poker game led to the murder, perhaps we should hear a bit about the outcome of the game? Further testimony really won't be necessary. It's clear the defendant lost badly. Huh? Mr. Lee, you will testify to the court about the game played between the victim and the defendant. Done. Serious competition. The game began with 3,500 coins and chips for each man. Those chips come in two sizes, small and large. The one who was winning, it was the victim. Or last hand, the defendant played with all chips on table and to lose. The moment last decided, defendant grabs bottle from table and... Indeed, looking at this picture, does seem to be a one-sided game. As the court knows, poker was the defendant's life. Failure must have been a bitter pill to swallow. Ah, how many times have I heard those words? I did it under a fit of anger, yet, Your Honor, I regret what I done. The common tale, but true. He thinks a guy judge watches too many old courtroom movies. Mr. Wright said he hadn't lost in 7 years, so this testimony must be wrong.
Hold it!
Are those the usual starting points, or are there any special rules used? No, not special. Usual game, usual rules. Each man began with 3,500 points, then the total would be, exactly, no, 7,000 points. Please, this isn't calculus. Not even long division. Oh, snap. Follow with the comebacks. Most ships come in two sizes, small and large.
Hold it!
Are the chips in this photo all the chips that were used? Da, of course. Something's fishy with these chips. Can you press harder? Maybe you could explain a bit about these chips? Explain? What is it to be explained? Objection! Poker chips are poker chips. You're not fishing chips. The old black is motorcycle up. Thanks. I'm not impressed, or I'd better ask her something. What are the chips worth? Are they in dollars or rubles even? Yet, as I've been saying before, it was a game, not gambling. Or perhaps we're capitalists too. Oh, jeebers. Yeah, I guess she's a little bit of a socialist. To understand. Two types of chips. 100 points and 1,000 points chip. Isn't that money, duh? Justice. Sir! Don't you find her comments interesting? In more ways than one, sir. I'd have it added to her testimony myself. Well, do the defense want to... Yeah, of course. Yes, I do think this deserves further scrutiny. And added to the testimony. Wish I knew where I was going with this. Very well, witness. Who would be so kind? Your Honor. One kind of chip is worth 1,100 points. Other kind is worth 1,000. Two kinds in all. I see. Hold it!
Hold it!
Mr. Kevin said that his testimony is important. To be honest, I have no idea why. Mr. Justice, do the court a favor and think of what you say before you're raising your hand. You're not in kindergarten. Heck, sorry, I'm fine. Better think of something to ask. And quick. Two types of chips. The small ones are 100 and there's 1,000. Right, of course. Huh. Don't waste our time. Bye. Is that all? Yeah. Go. Great. Mr. Ken made me stop her. Now I'm one who looks dumb. Oh, Justice? Please try not to embarrass me like that. Huh? Who, me? There's a clear contradiction in the information you have in your hands. What? It's a simple matter of calculation. Go on, try it. We're not in kindergarten, after all. Calculation? I know what it means. Objection! You're sure it was the victim who won? Absolutely sure? Huh? It seems our new attorney is a bit confused. Glance at the picture is enough to tell you who won, if you're not in kindergarten. Just for safety's sake, could you explain the problem to the court? Of course, Your Honor. This photo, I see small chips and I see large chips. Tell me, which were worth 1,000 points? Huh, why the big ones, of course, duh. Oh, I thought so too. But then the totals don't add up. The totals? Let's review what the witness told us. Each man started with 3,500 points and chips. The combined total value of the chips was 7,000 points. Yes, my calculations are correct. Let's see, they're 3 plus 1, carry the 5. They are, Your Honor. Now, look at this photo that allegedly shows all the chips. The big chips are worth 1,000 points and the small chips are worth 100. And you add them all up. How much is it? Well, do it yourself. You aren't in kindergarten, are you? What, 10,600 points? The chips don't add up. This clearly contradicts the witness's testimony. Well, why? How could this be? Exactly, Justice. Now that you know the truth, the what, you must determine the why. Right. There's only one possible to explain this contradiction. Each man began the game with 3,500 points. While the chips are indeed shown in this photograph, there can only be one answer. Well, what is it? The value of the chips was the other way around. What? Want to know what I think? The small chips were worth 10,000, not the big ones. Madness! Utter madness! Madness? This is Sparta. Show me the photograph of the chips again. For 6 small chips and large chips. Why, that does make 7,000 points when you add them up. Excellent work, Justice. It's all, says you figured this all by yourself. Well, I'm just glad I was the one who said it. Objection! Oh, wait! The value of the chips may be different, but that changes nothing. Indeed, the victim did have the larger number of chips still. Aha! Exactly! The small chips are 1,000 points and the large chips 100. Let's do a little math. Add up the points for each side of the table. Ag! The victim, Mr. Smith, had 2,900 points. The defendant had 4,100 points. Well now, it seems that Mr. Wright was winning that night after all. That's impossible. My client had even less reason to kill the victim. After all, he was winning. Like that Charlie Sheen fellow. Now, Miss Orley. You must have known the true value of the chips, since you're at the scene of the crime, weren't you? Order! It appears our defendant has lost his motive. Hold on a moment. And Mr. Wright's supposed defeat never happened. Nah. Must now ask ourselves whether we can trust this. Excuse me? What is it, Miss Orley? I didn't want to be saying this, but actually, you see, see what, Miss Orley? What do we see? In the last hand, there was cheats. A cheat? You don't mean a trick? Wait, or do you mean a scam? They're all the same thing. Yes, there was cheats in last hand. That is why game ends with chips as the hour. Great. Just great. We're now offline, now cheating. Well, this certainly has taken a turn pretty interesting. Witness, you will please testify to the court. Tell us about this cheating. In the final hands. Last hand, both men had full house. There was 4 of each card in deck, from ace to king. If you look at both men's hands, it is more obvious. The next moment, game becomes argument stop. The defendant's trick was exposed. Took the bottle in his hand. Poor Mr. Smith. Miss Orley, Why did you not tell us about about this from the very beginning? Glad you smelled the cover up here. Well, folks, it's time to throw back the covers. Full House is a very high-scoring hand, and easy to make in my experience. That alone is enough to suspect less than scrupulous tactics. Mr. Gavin, what's a full house? Players these days, you don't know your poker. Can't be disposed of for your case or career. Hey, what is it? What is this? Some kind of secret court poker thing? Ring? Justice. You know the terms one pair, two pair, and three of the kind, yes? Yes, no problem. Two cards with the same number makes a pair. Three makes three of a kind. Good. A picture hand with one pair and three of a kind. That's a full house. That doesn't sound very easy to make, does it? You can see clearly. You can see each player's hand in this photo. Wow, they both have full houses. We forget there's an easy way to make a full house and go undefeated for 7 years. You cheat. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Big feet in the last hand. That still leaves one important question. Mr. Wright lost that hand. Who's ever heard of a professional con man losing when they cheat?
Hold it!
I want it clear. Well, the defendant, he played a fifth ace. A fifth ace? I still remember both hands very well. Mr. Smith's hand had 3 aces. And Mr. Knight's hands 2. Obviously, cheating was afoot. Or should I perhaps say a hand? Your Honor, perhaps this can be added to the testimony without Mr. Payne's joke? Very well. Witness will add this detail to her testimony, please. Objection!
Objection!
5 aces. It appears our witness is mistaken. Mistaken? My name is... Look, this piece of evidence clearly contradicts what you said in your testimony. That's the photo of the chips, is not? Justice, perhaps you ought to explain your point in the way that the judge can comprehend? In other words, use your finger to point at your points. Thus, please point out the contradiction in this photo. A particular point contradicts this witness's testimony. Take that! Disorderly. In your testimony, you made the following claim. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces, but as you can clearly see, the victim's hand only held 2 aces. Eek! Well, maybe the witness was simply confused. Perhaps it was the defendant's hand that held the 3rd ace in question. Objection! Take another look at the evidence. As you can see, the defendant also had 2 aces in his hand. Where's this 5th ace? I see cheating alright, and it's gonna be right here in this courtroom. 2 aces in each player's hand. Does make 4 aces in total. Or the proof of cheating. Wait, please! It's true! I've seen it! The 5th ace! I was cheating, I swear to you! That's odd. You must be lying, yet she's the most sincere I've seen her all day. You're right to trust your instincts. Mr. Gavin? Who knows what lies in store for us in the trial at hand? Your Honor, if I may, I have a suggestion. What might that be, Mr. Gavin? If you don't mind, perhaps we might examine the actual cards. The cards? Mr. Payne. Yes? The player's hand died were set aside as evidence, were they not? The evidence would like to request that the cards be shown to the court. Very well. The prosecution will submit this evidence. Which will you examine? Victim's card or the defendant's card? Cards don't prove cheating was going on. Nothing will. Now, which one of these is more suspicious? It was the victim's hand that changed over the course of the witness's testimony. The defense requests time to examine Mr. Smith's cards. Very well. Mr. Payne, if you would. Very well. Well, time's wasting. Get to it, Justice. Yes, sir. On his words. Oh, I look! Huh? What? Your Honor, look at this! One of the victim's cards. The back is a different color. Eh? Eh? That's impossible! But I put that card in Mr. Knight's hand. Heck! What was that, Miss Ulrich? No, yes. I merely said that I have weak. Your Honor? Mr. Gavin, yes? Tell me, what is the easiest way to cheat at poker? To cheat? I'll tell you. One merely needs a friend, a comrade, shall we say. The dealer. Oh. Wait, do you mean? This witness, Miss Ulrich? Orderly? She's a cheater. A professional, I'd wager. Order, order. Focus, Justice. Time to take advantage of her. Of her mistake. Your Honor, please recall the testimony we just heard. That's impossible. But I really... Ergo, Miss Olga Orley conspired to cheat not with my client, but with the victim, Mr. Shady Smith. Not only did she cheat, but she cheated poorly. Therefore, it's not hard to imagine an altercation between her and the victim. What? Wait, you don't mean the defense isn't accusing the witness, Miss Olga Orley, are you? Time for justice. There are 3 people in the room at the time of the incident. If Mr. Wright isn't guilty, that means I am. The defense accuses the witness, Miss Olga Orley, of murder. Eek. My lobster is good. At least. Mr. Payne, where's your witness, Miss Olga Orley? It appears she has lost her consciousness, Your Honor. Mr. Justice? Your Honor, seems you presented a new possibility to the court. One suggesting a connection between the witness and the victim, Mr. Shady Smith. The real Slim Shady Smith. That means? This court cannot pronounce a verdict for the defendant at this time. Nick, what? I did it. Held out. I see no point in prolonging the trial this day. Prosecution will need to make further inquiries. Objection! Mr. Wright? You can't end the trial here, Your Honor. Not yet. What nonsense is the defendant spewing now? Think. One of the cards had a different colored back. And you wonder what this all means? Objection! What are you doing, Mr. Wright? Raising objections right when you're about to get off the hook? Ridiculous! Mr. Payne, you know if all people should know, Mr. Wright has a talent for the ridiculous. Perhaps we should get to the bottom of things. Let's clear up the facts of the game that fateful night. As I said before, we alternated between 2 decks of cards that night. As I said before, 2 decks at the club have different colored backs, blue and red. 1 color per deck. I use different colored backs. If we use the same color, the 2 decks might get mixed. You use different color colors and they still got mixed up. We used the red deck for the last game. I see, but that's odd. For some reason, I have this impression that you were using the blue cards. Yeah, me too. Sure, someone said something about blue cards. Whatever. In the end, one card got of the wrong color got into the mix, which means there was cheating. Yes, the card slipped into the deck. Would suggest. Yes. Yes, the card slipped into the deck would seem to indicate cheating. Yet, this card raises two serious questions. Apollo? Yes? Let's consider the first question, shall we? Think. In the last game, when was the card swapped? When? There are three broad possibilities here. Could have been swapped before the murder, during the murder, or after the murder. Well, yeah, thanks for the news bulletin, Mr. Wright. Of course it was swapped, though. It might be as simple as you think, Mr. Payne, or it might not be. Ian, I'd like to hear what Apollo thinks first. When do you think the cards were swapped? When the card was swapped? Heck. Yes, after the murder. Perhaps it happened after the murder? Objection! What's that? Ridiculous. What's the point of cheating after the hands have been shown? That's silly. Objection! Yes, but tell me, who do you swap cards during the game? It's silly over impossible. Objection! Take it from me, son. There's a lot of silly in this world, but very little impossible. Oh, even when the backs of the cards are a different color? If you pulled out during the game, you'd be caught in no time. Ah, quite true. That would mean that the blue card in question stopped after the answer was shown, after the murder. Objection! Okay, this is going past silly and straight on to crazy. Once again, what's the point of cheating after the game's over? Who would do that? Who indeed? That's one of the mysteries before us. There's another? Yes, it's simple. It's decisive question must be asked. We swap the red card for the blue card. You? Game and the murder is done. The victim is dead. The two remain in the room. Live, that is. Defendant Phoenix Wright, the witness, Olga Orley. Okay, so who was it? What, the red card for a blue card? The one who swapped the cards wasn't Mr. Wright, of course. And, well, doesn't seem like it could have been Olga Orley either. What are you saying? That's our theological conclusion, I'll admit. In defense, I think it only makes sense for you to name Miss Orley at this point. Yes, I know. But it was the one who dealt the cards, right? I just can't believe she would make the mistake of swapping the wrong colored card. If the card was swapped during the game, it'd be obvious. Something you'd like to share with the court, Mr. Wright? Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. I'm just thinking how much fun all this is. Objection! Fun? How about confusing? I have no idea what the defense is claiming, Your Honor. If the one who swapped the card wasn't the defendant and it wasn't Miss Orley, then who was it? Or yeah, well, that is the question, isn't it? Precisely. Huh? I think we're about to see this case take a new direction. New direction? We'll find out, indeed, after the murder. Somebody swapped one of the cards in the victim's hands. That someone made two critical mistakes. I'm sure you're going to tell us that the first was swapping the wrong colored card? Because the one who did the swap didn't know two colors of cards were being used. The other mistake was the number of the card. Right. The person replaced the fifth ace with a king. I'm sure whoever swapped it wasn't expecting there to be a fifth ace after all. All they knew the game had to have been one with a full house. They picked up a king from the table and swapped it in. Objection! But There's a one problem. According to our case record, this person doesn't exist. Case record. True. Not until now. But you have to admit the possibility of a fourth person. So it's more than likely a possibility. There was someone else there that night died at the scene of the crime. What? Yeah. I believe the judge spoke truthfully earlier. You do make trials ridiculous, Mr. Wright. This trial has proceeded on one central assumption, namely that at the time of the incident, there were only 3 people in that room. I believe this new evidence, shall we say, overturns that assumption. The problem is that you chose to conceal this information from the court. I suppose that is a problem, yes. Court is adjourned for a brief recess. Mr. Gavin, I shall see you in my chambers during this recess. Certainly, Your Honor. Very well. Trial will resume in 20 minutes. Well, 20th, 11:52 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. That was quite unexpected, Miss Wright. You suddenly claimed there was another person at the scene of the crime like that. I must ask, is this the truth? Well now, I think you would know the answer to that. No. Being mysterious, are we? Suddenly, I've no time for mysteries. I can only ask that you leave the defending to your defense in the future. Otherwise, I cannot guarantee the outcome. I see you haven't mellowed out one bit, Kristoff. Justice. Yes, sir? The judge has summoned me to his chambers, so carry on without me. For a long time, I thought it was like Hobo in the back there, but just another judge. Huh. Never realized that. You did well, Apollo. Can I ask you something? Sure. That locket you wear, is that really yours, Mr. Wright? You're wondering about the victim's disappearing locket? Here, you can take a look at it. That's a picture of my daughter in there. Wow. Really pretty. I'm just surprised to hear you haven't had a daughter. Most people are. Perhaps you'll meet her one of these days. One more question. The one you cheated that night, was it you? What do you think? Huh? You know what happened 7 years ago, what I did? It's not unreasonable for you to think that I might cheat. I never, honest, but it is odd that you managed to go undefeated for 7 whole years. Want to know something? There's only one game where you can be dealt bad cards all night and still win. Poker. Eh? You see, poker is all about reading your opponents. That way, it's a lot like a court case. Poker is like trial law. Figure out what your opponent is thinking, you win. Well, yeah, but that's harder than it sounds. I think not. Huh? Everything might conceal it. Everyone reveals their true thoughts in the end. Your body language can become a valuable source of information. You're kidding! A witness, for instance? Orly? She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? No. Come on, who would notice that? Words, habits, twitches, it's all information for the reading. That's a secret to winning, Apollo. Someone taught me, and now I pass the secret on to you. But I'm not worthy. I mean, there's no way I pick on these signals. No, you can do it. Huh? You just don't know it yet. What's he talking about? But you will. Soon. Ah, I almost forgot. One more thing. About this case. You should know I haven't told the truth to anyone yet. What? I knew it. For my reasons, of course, what shall be revealed. And Apollo, I need you to be there defending me. I need your power. I am power? I don't idea my course of skill were that special. It's time. Real trial begins now. Do your best. To be continued. Alright. Oh, I guess I will save my... Here. Alright. Okay. So this is going to be part 1 of my Ace Attorney stream today, so... Apollo Justice stream, at least. I'll get to the Phoenix, right? One with Fuzzy Cow tomorrow, so... Yeah. In the meantime, as always, you can subscribe or follow me on my Twitch or YouTube, donate to me on my Patreon, or follow me on my Twitter. This has been Dry Oasis. Kirby, do you have anything else to say? Bye. Relax. Well, it is getting rather late, so for those watching, I hope to see you all later and take care. Bye bye.